the soundtrack of your life's journey. Kingfisher FM.
And lovely to welcome into studio today Windray, who's standing in for Vernon. Windray, a very good afternoon on this hot day.
Yeah, Ethan, hi to everybody out there. No, it's a very hot day. I was close to the air conditioner today, and when I got into my car, the aircon was blowing. So I was grateful for air conditioning.
Well, we're trying to keep it blowing over here this afternoon in the studio. All the way from Kimberley, though, we're joined on the line. I don't know what the weather is like over there. We're talking to Vernon's sister, Pearl de Vos. Hey, Pearl.
Hi, Ethan. It's very hot here in Kimberley, and we're having a hot day this side.
All right, so it's also hot over there, my word, the heat wave.
Yeah, I visited Kimberley a few times, Ethan. Kimberley is the city of the extremes. In the winter, it's extremely cold. And
No, Windray City is not the extreme. 39 is the extreme.
No, extreme heat in the summer, but in winter it's minus
Pretty
5, and no, it bites. I was there in Kimberley. It bites.
4 seasons in one day, that's PE
4
for you.
seasons in one day, yeah.
All
I
right,
actually
so...
spoke to a lady from the Eastern Cape, and she said you guys are also getting hot that side, so...
Yeah, we're cooking. But Paul, this obviously is the month of love, Valentine's month, and Valentine's is actually on Sunday, so I think all the men need to be reminded of that. And we're focusing on true love, and true love makes sure that loved ones are taken care of.
True, very true, yes.
So I know that based on that, people are probably wondering, how do we bring that into planning and into making good decisions when it talks about our family's health? So maybe you can just touch on that a little bit for us, because I know we're talking about a person's health today.
Yes. Thanks, Ethan. Firstly, I want to say good afternoon to Windray, you, Ethan, and all the listeners. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story with you guys. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Pearl de Vos. I'm a financial advisor at Risk-Free Solution, and I'm situated in Kimberley in the Northern Cape, the very, very hot province. Planning should be an integral part of everyone's life, as this gives you the opportunity to plan for the worst and also to plan for the best.
Oh, wow.
Now, when I say the worst, then I talk about death, I talk about disability, I talk about illness. And if you have a good plan, at least if this does happen to you, you don't have to worry about your finances. Then when I talk about the best, I talk about setting goals for yourself, planning towards maybe buying a house, buying a car, putting money aside, having a savings, and doing every day something towards that goal, so that eventually you have that house, eventually you have that car. So you've planned now for the worst, and you have planned now for the best. Yeah. You never know what life throws at you. Planning helps you to be prepared for the worst, but expecting the best.
I like the measured approach.
Do you like that, Ethan?
Yeah.
Yeah, because life throws you bouquets and bombs, and that's just how it goes. Yeah. And if we're wise, then even if they throw the bombs at us, we're at least financially okay. So before I start with today's topic, I want to encourage all the women listening to do regular mammograms and pap smears and the necessary screening, because did you know that a woman has to have all these checks done at least once every 2 years? If you're between the age of 45 and 54, you should get a mammogram every year. So this would greatly increase the chances of early detection. Now, what do I mean by that also? Before they diagnose you with cancer, sometimes what happens is our cells produce all the time. The healthy cells produce all the time. And with cancer, when a cell becomes abnormal and it starts producing, but slowly, if you go and you do your regular checkups, then at least they'll be able to detect it early. It's not yet cancer, and you can therefore do something about it then before it becomes stage 1 cancer. So I would really like to encourage women to please go and have their checks done regularly. Today I want to share a very personal story with you regarding one of my clients, the painful journey that went through and the power of proper financial planning. It was a hot day in Kimberley, and anybody that has never ever visited Kimberley during the summer months knows that our heat is no joke. I'm pretty sure that it was to the maximum of 40 degrees Celsius on that day. I had an appointment with a friend of mine from school, and she'd asked me to come and see her. As I was driving, I was thinking, do I have to go and see her today? The heat was so bad. And all I wanted was to be close to the aircon or someplace cool.
Like me.
Like you, yeah. So it took mental strength to get me into my car and go and see her. When I approached her, she was very happy to see me, and her positive attitude made me forget about the sweltering heat. We started with her financial analysis and discovered that she had no cover in place for in the event of severe illness. This was quite concerning to me. We checked on her medical aid benefits to see what coverage she had in place in the event she became sick with a disease like cancer. After doing my investigations, we realized that the medical aid benefits would not be sufficient if she was diagnosed with severe illness and if she required major surgery and if she required a long recovery period. I realized that she had a huge need in this regard. Then we checked how much sick leave she had, as well as her normal leave, if she would require extensive time off work to recover from her illness. We checked her financial situation as well. If she didn't get paid during her recovery time, she would have huge financial challenges. We soon realized that she definitely had a huge need. What made the situation worse is that she was the only breadwinner in the family, looking after her son and her mother. She realized that a financial planning intervention was a huge priority, especially in the event of severe illness. We applied to our insurer for the cover. She underwent all the medical tests required, and the policy was issued, and she enjoyed the cover. Sad to say, though, 3 years later, she made an appointment to come see me in the office again. She first of all thanked me for the good advice that I had given her 3 years ago, but I could definitely see she was not in a good space. She then shared that she was diagnosed with breast cancer and that she would need a mastectomy. We submitted the severe illness claim to our head office, and not long after that, we received the good news that the claim was successful and there was a 100% cover amount that was paid out to her. Fortunately, because of the detailed analysis, she would suffer only minor financial loss through the various procedures and recovery time. The claimed amount also ensured that she would focus on her health and her recovery. To the listeners out there, this is vital, vital, vital. When you are in such a situation, your focus should not be on money. It should be on getting better. The very last thing that you want to do is stress about finances. To add to the situation, she was a candidate for breast reconstruction surgery. Because this is a cosmetic procedure, the medical aid did not want to cover this. She utilized a portion of the severe illness payout to pay for this very expensive surgery. All this would not have been possible if she did not have a plan in place for when life happens. Even I can't begin to describe the satisfaction that I felt knowing that my advice helped her to deal with what life had thrown at her and for her to lead a happy and normal life. And the good news is that till this day, she remains a loyal customer of mine. She had recovered and is cancer-free. The breast reconstruction surgery was also a success. And fortunately, this helps with her self-esteem and self-confidence as a woman.
That's important.
In conclusion, I just want to ask everybody listening there, if I was diagnosed with cancer today, what would my situation be? How would this news affect me and my family? Would I suffer financially? Would I be able to continue working in this condition? How would having sufficient cover in place ease my recovery?
I really appreciate the way that you've shared that story with us, Pearl, and really made us think about it and think about these questions, because sometimes we can be very flippant, and sometimes many a time I think people say, well, I've never been sick before, so it'll never happen to me until it does. So
until it does,
I think what's important,
it's almost like the COVID. You always hear about it, but the minute it happens and you don't take precautions, you don't look after yourself, you don't wear your mask, you don't sanitize, but the day it hits you, you realize that, I should have done this. I should have taken precaution, Yeah.
Okay, as people think about that, we're going to break away. We'll come back.
Real, relevant radio. Kingfisher FM. Hope Radio. Kingfisher FM.
There's also some accountability that comes to us making good decisions when it comes to looking after our loved ones and also taking care of the body that we have been blessed with. We're talking to Risk-Free Solutions this afternoon, and Windray as well as Pearl de Vos on the line with us all the way from Kimberley. We've just sort of listened to the story about Pearl's friend and about proper planning around that.
Yeah, so Ethan, one of the things that we must also note, especially during the month of love and Valentine's Day, like we said, is on Sunday, we tend to think a lot about death and that type of thing and funeral cover, but a lot of times look at ourselves and start loving ourselves as well. So when you consider severe illness, you're actually showing yourself some love and planning for yourself in the event that something should happen to you. So Pearl, you spoke earlier a lot about the investigations that you made. And I'm really happy for that. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, what you do is when you approach a client, you first check which medical aid they're on.
Okay.
And then the medical aid is divided up into different options. And most medical aid have 5 options. If you're on the top option, then basically you're covered for most everything, and you don't have to pay in everything. But if you're on the bottom 2 options, then we could have a problem there. And that's how you can calculate that if in the event with the brochure, going through the brochure with the client, you can see whether, is a payout going to be, if the client goes for chemo, is it going to be 100% or 50%? So that is the first investigation I did.
Okay.
And then the second is to check the leave, because check how much leave the client is entitled to every year, sick leave, including normal leave, and then when does it become unpaid leave? And then, okay?
No, because I know you mentioned it, Windray, about looking after ourselves, but you're actually looking after your family.
Of course.
Because, I mean, to recover from something, to a severe illness, that takes time, and it's not one person who's going through cancer, it's the family.
Yeah,
it's the family. And for her, it was so important because she was the only breadwinner. She could not afford to not have a salary every month.
Yeah.
Because if she never had a salary, nobody would eat. There would be no expenses that would be covered because there was nobody to help her or to assist her.
And I mean, she's also sick, so they've got to look after her. She can't pick up kids and travel around. You could be bed bound, you could be hospital bound. You've got to go and do all these various appointments with specialists, and the emotional toll is severe.
It's a lot. It actually takes a lot out of you, and to still battle with finances at that time, it's just not right. It's not right at all, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, also, when you have a severe illness like that, your family struggles to support you because they sometimes don't know how. And now when you're battling both financial and that, it can be actually very bad, you know, detrimental to you and your family.
Yeah. You need counseling as well and all this type
You
of
need
stuff.
counseling and all that,
And in
yeah.
your client's case, I mean, they were dependent on her for, you know, for put food on the table.
They were dependent on her for everything, Yeah.
So what do we take away from this now? People are listening and they're thinking, okay, you know, where do I start?
Yeah, I think Ethan and Paul, planning is so important, you know. And Paul
Yes.
said it
Yes.
in her intro, planning for the good things that happen in life. She meant planning for the best, but also planning for the worst. And I think a lot of times we should use wisdom and proper planning. See a financial advisor and do proper planning in the event, in this case, in the event of a severe illness. So that's
Yes,
important.
yes.
A lot of times we don't think of these things. It happens to the next person. It'll never happen to me.
Yeah, true. Very true.
All right, so on that note, if you want to get hold of somebody that can maybe point you in the right direction, do the right research when it comes to that, risk-free solutions. So how do we get hold of you?
Well, you can have a look at our website, www.riskfreesolutions.co.za. You can also visit us on Facebook, and we're also on LinkedIn. So you can also just have a look at us on LinkedIn. So that's
Cool.
how the guys can...
Paul, thanks so much for your time. Wondre,
Thank
thanks
you,
for popping
Ethan.
in as
Thank you
well.
for having me.
And yeah, we wish you and your family, clients, every success in the future. May they never ever need that cover, but it's good that you've got it there as a fail-safe.
Thank you, Ethan. And it was nice chatting to you and to all the listeners out there. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Pearl.
You have been listening to Your Financial Journey, where planning matters. Brought to you by Risk-Free Solutions, an accredited Old Mutual Agency franchise. Tuning weekly to the show that leads the way so that no one gets left behind. Every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. right here on 107.5 FM. Your inspiration station. It's Kingfisher FM.